A clamps. Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I go by Z. If you're new here, to my returning subscribers, welcome back, baby. I'm back. You back, guys. I'm back. So today's video is gonna be an updated beginner's makeup tutorial. So I'm just gonna tell you guys the things I did and what you guys should just avoid when you start doing your makeup. I'll be plugging you guys with cheaper options, affordable ones, let me just put it like that, but also good quality, because I've used a range of products and I feel like these ones would help you if you want to like start doing your makeup, if you want to invest more in your makeup. You get? So stick with me, baby. Yeah, so you get. I don't want to lie, the girly that has been pulling through for me budget wise is Smudge, guys. Like, the one person that plugged me on it was my cousin, so she did one for me. Like, Smudge is an underground and I can get, but the products, guys, it does wonders. It does its job, like it really does. So I'm gonna be using the Smudge illuminating primer today. I would say it actually does feel hydrating, because no, yeah, I don't have like your moistures, your creams on. I just sprayed some rose water because you can never go wrong with rose water. So I think it was a safer option for me than putting in too much products, because if you use your foundation and you already have product on your skin, the makeup is not going to be able to sit and it's going to crack. So that's the first do not. When it comes to these primers, you never really know which one is what is the one, because I've used a lot. I've really used a lot. So I'm gonna add, like, I don't know where am I gonna put it, but the range of trustworthy primers that I've used and my clients have actually said that, damn, this is good, like my skin feels good. There was this one that I used to use a lot and they would ask me what's the name of it, even saying that they could just apply it like the normal day cream. Those ones are the ones I would say you can start off with, but as time goes on, knowing exactly what is it that your skin is allergic to. And when it comes to these makeup products, it's the same thing with them. You see which one is which, and then you stay away from the others as well, the ones that don't work for you. You get? So I'm gonna be applying this one. As you're gonna see, it has this shimmer on it. Yo, it's so nice. Like, the shimmer is really nice, I don't want to lie. It gives off boma bronze after effect. I don't know if you get me. Mirror is so dirty. You see, like, oh, in Beyonce man ke shine. You get? It's really soft on the skin, but I would say it's more on the matte-ish side, because I've once used it and it felt matte-ish. Maybe it's because my skin, I have a dry skin, if I may say, like, so I have to use something that has a lot of moisture. Okay, so this is how I look after applying it. It does its job, it does. Also, one thing you should also notice and look out for whenever you're applying anything, could be a foundation, also your primer, the minute you feel a burning sensation, it's not it, because your skin is reacting to that product and the product isn't good for your skin, so cut it out. Okay, and then the following thing is your foundation. So when it comes to foundations, there's this whole different range of foundations. The safest option is to start with your mousses, guys. Again, Smudge. Is to start with your mousses is like the most safest playground, because it has coverage first and foremost, what we look for mostly in all these foundation. One thing I like about it is that when it comes to your highlighting, your contouring, it has minimal work in trying to make your whole makeup look perfect. You get? So for starters, I would say go for a mousse. Like, go for a mousse. And then when it comes to picking your actual skin color, guys, it can actually be quite tricky. If you pick a shade that is along your skin color range, it's much easier to work with it than if it was like a weight foundations, because when it comes to your weight foundations, it gets tricky when you have to highlight and when you have to contour. So with the mousse, if your mousse looks good on you and you don't need to do much work, you're out and about, pumela and clean, you look beautiful. So I won't be using the mousse today because I ran out of my shade, and I used this one for contouring. Other than mousses, we have our weight foundations. So I use two different foundations because the other one is too bright, the other one is too light, so I just mix them. I always tell people that it goes back to primary. When we mix the primary colors and stuff, it goes back to that to get the perfect shade. When you mix white and black, you get gray, and then you mix it to a point where you get the one that one gray color that you want. So I mix this. So Maybelline is a brand I even started with when I started doing makeup, and I must say I've loved it since, and it has worked amazingly for me, and I can't complain. With the coverage as well, it eats, even though it's slightly expensive. I also have like smaller versions of this, which is much more cheaper than the bigger ones. I don't know if they still sell them, do they? I can't remember. But then yeah, so I use the 230 shade, and then I use the 334. I've never really looked into there's a normal to oily foundation. I'm not sure if they have other ones as well. These ones are matte foundations. One thing I've seen with foundations, if you want it to look more moist, when you add more setting spray, it becomes more moist, because I've seen that through experiments. I've seen that when you spray more of your setting spray, your makeup becomes more glossy, if I may put it. It becomes more glossy and less matte. And then if you want it to be matte, I think you shouldn't put on too much of your setting spray, because of course it says the makeup, that is just at what level you want it to sit at. Sometimes I just put it on, and then as I'm blending my foundation, I add the other color on top to see if does it get to the tone that I want it to. And that's one way you can do it. But I mix them because now I know what proportion of this foundation I can add to the other foundation, which is going to give me the exact skin tone. Is it skin tone? The exact tone that I've tried this step. It's been working out for me. It's a thing that has already been out there through certain makeup artists. I don't know if you've watched them, but I started incorporating it, and I've seen how well it works for me. So before I do my eyebrows, I do my whole face basically. I first do my foundation, and then I contour and bake. Then after, I do my eyeshadow, if not the eyebrows, because we know in a time where we want our eyebrows to look aesthetically pleasing, not too much, like lightly soft glam like. And that's one way you can get that seamless look. So I'm gonna be doing that. Definitely recommend it, because it's not time consuming, because when we stay too long on our eyebrows can be tricky. When you're in a hurry, they can be very tricky. So this saves time doing the foundation first, contouring and highlighting, and then after the eyebrows. I would also recommend to please do invest in good makeup brushes. I use this one when I lay out my foundation. It helps a lot, because when I blend, it doesn't take up much time. And there's another brush, I'll try to insert it somewhere here, that used to work so good for me. And guys, those who used to say you should wet your sponges knew what they were talking about, because when you use a dry sponge, it's like you're basically sucking the foundation off of your skin, and now you have to apply more. So with the wet sponge, basically making it damp. Others use setting spray just to make the sponge damp. It says it makes the makeup sit beautifully on your skin. I just normally just damp it, and it works like a balm. Like, the foundation hardly sticks on the sponge and it stays on the skin, so you blend on the skin. When we blend, can we please not forget here, by the ears here, like, you don't want to be looking too color. You have to blend it out. So I'm gonna be going in with my mousse. The shade is mahogany. I'll write it down. Yeah, that is the shade. Contouring do? Contour basically blends in your makeup. Transition, yeah, I wanted to say that, to transition your foundation to unique, so that the toe color doesn't show. Yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. The one concealer that you guys can also get is LA Girl. LA Girl, that's my girl. Like, I started off doing makeup with the products from there, and it did its job. It did its job. I don't want to lie, shame. Till this day, I'm still using it. Then it contour also the nose a bit. Yeah. And the cheekbone. What I tend to use is the blender that I was using to blend my foundation. Mixing the foundation with the concealer so that it transitions out beautifully. Like, I just love that about it. If you scared that you didn't blend well enough, you can always use your powdered highlighters and contour. I'll show you guys at the end. They work best to bring out the contour, because sometimes blend and then it becomes lighter at the contouring part. So those contouring and highlighting powders, they really help bringing out the contour that you did. So I'm going to be using this mini blender for the nose. Also, it's also damp as well. Yeah. And then highlighting, guys. Smudge once again. This is the concealer that my cousin was using, and then when I used it, oh, I couldn't look back. I didn't. So I thought, let me get one for myself. It works like a beautiful balm. I don't know, there's just something about it. I can sometimes use it as the base, like with not applying my foundation under the eyes. Today I did, because I'm just gonna be using this one, so I'm not gonna fully contour and do a whole face beat. No, I'm just showing you guys the basics that you guys can learn and then build on forward from it. You see, so beige. That's, yeah, the shade is medium beige. Like, it's just not harsh or anything. Like, ones like these lighter concealers, that's one thing I love about it. it's really not harsh. Like, it highlights, but it's not harsh. So I'm using my small sponge that I contoured with, but I'm using the other side because I was using this side. So yeah. Oh, you see what I'm talking about? Eating mara haeo. Get like eating mara haeo. What I'm gonna do now is like bake the parts that I highlighted. I know this powder from Essence. Guys, this one works like a bomb. It's also affordable. I'll list the prices in the description box. So it also comes with a sponge. One thing about it, I recommend for you guys, if you want to start doing your baking powders, start with the banana powdered ones, because when you go to the white ones? Yes, the white powdered loose powders. It's for the pros, those ones. Don't play with the big guns. Do not. When I bake, I use sponge, this blending sponge. Just cut off while I was baking. I thought it was recording while I was baking, but it didn't. So one thing I did is I took the small sponge, and one technique you can do is, as you go back, blend in the concealer, and then without looking down, just try to take the sponge that you're going to be baking with, damp it on the powder, and like press it under the eye so that it doesn't create cracks. Same thing on the other side, and I just go over the places that you highlighted as well with the powder, but not too much. Don't do too I just much. Brushed off the excess powder. I thought I was recording. So one thing I feel when I'm ready to remove the excess powder is when where I baked feels light. Like when you move your face and it feels light, I remove it. And then if it still feels a bit hard, then I just wait a bit more. So I tend to go over the parts that I contoured and highlighted with like your compressed highlighting powders. I got this palette at Fochini, and I think you guys can get it there. So I'm just gonna do that off camera because guys, but I wanted to show you guys when it comes to the eyebrows. So it's not a big deal even if you finish last with the eyebrows. Like I shaped mine not so long ago. So yeah. So I'm gonna be using a brown pencil. So guys, when it comes to eyebrows, like eyebrows change, like its style and everything. Practice makes perfect. Like practice makes perfect. Like just keep on practicing and you'll be fine. You will be fine. And then you brush it out. I always tell people that when it comes to eyebrows, one thing I love about them, how messy you can be. The one thing that just cleans them up is your concealer. Like your concealer really cleans it up. The eyebrows, I'm going to be using a lighter concealer by the corners so that the eyebrows can pop out more, and I'm not going to be using it fully under the whole eyebrow, just by the corners, and I'm going to be doing that on the other side of the eyebrow. Word of my eyebrows, as you guys can see, I'm using one of my darker foundations as I blend it out with the concealer that I had been using for the arched part of the eyebrows, and I use the same shade of foundation on the top
eyebrows as well, so that it can blend in effortlessly with the foundation. And one of the techniques I use to clean up if I feel like the eyebrow becomes too thin is I use one of the black shades in the eyeshadow palette, or my pencil, the brown pencil, as you guys.
Lashes and did my lips off camera, so I'm gonna be using Smudge matte setting spray, and yeah. Woo. Okay, oh yeah, makeup's done and finished. Hope you guys found this video very helpful, and if you have more questions, do please let me know. Flash test. Okay, flash test.